Earlier this week, Rare dropped their latest adventure off the heels of their second mystery to date. With the mystery being worse and better than its predecessor, how does Adventure 12, A Dark Deception, compare to the rest of the catalogue? And how does the mystery compare? Starting with a brief note on the mystery to get you caught up, H was revealed in a Twitter post, because of course he was. H turned out to be Hogarth, a character that appeared in the Price for Gold comic. He mentored Humphrey the Hoarder as an apprentice but never appeared in the game. Rare said H was a new character, which is kinda true since he hasn't appeared in the actual game yet. And at the time of this video, he still hasn't appeared. What we can glean from this is that he was exiled and is back to take over the Gold Hoarders. Since the Gold Hoarder himself is gone, they need an actual new leader. Hogarth also looks to have found a cure for the Gold Curse, hinting all the gold will fall from the Gold Hoarder's flesh. That's the gist of it. Overall, the puzzles were more interesting this time around and the story made more sense, but I have to say it was missing a cutscene at the end. The first mystery had it, so why didn't this? The mystery is great for the most engaged of the most engaged players, although it looks like the prizes were out of reach for the vast majority of people. It was pretty much entirely social media based, which is not what people asked for. The actual riddles in the voyages were so much better than any riddles before it. The last voyage was awesome and we had a blast playing it. It takes around an hour and just finishing it was accomplishment enough. More of this stuff, less of the social media. I think there's a balance to be struck here. Did you guys like the mystery or did you not bother with it? I know I was only interested when everyone was stuck on the last puzzle. Now let's talk about the adventure. Adventure 12, A Dark Deception starts a new arc for the storyline. We get some world changes, some ties back to the main storyline, but it also brings up more questions than answers. If you're confused, I'll break it down quickly. We head over to Lorina, who is finally talking again. We speak to her and she tells us that we need to head over to meet someone on an uncharted island. And that's all she can say. The note has more details. We head over to N13 to see the Pirate Lord with his pantaloons in a twist. He tells us someone has broken into his stash of goodies and has nicked one of his artifacts. Ramsey then gives us some instructions to make a compass to track it down. He hands us this journal with the instructions and a note to convince the Order to help us. Looking at the back, we can see Ramsey practicing his own signature. Why would he need to do that? I have absolutely no idea. We have to get Pendragon's pocket watch from Madame Olivia at Plunder Outpost, get a piece of the burning blade from Shipwreck Bay, and then get Madame Olive to put them together at Sanctuary Outpost. We've yet again got a bunch of sailing to do. First up, Plunder Outpost. Olivia doesn't want to hand over the watch because she's grieving about Pendragon. It's sort of implied that they had some sort of romance going on. Well, Ramsey prepared us for this, so we can actually knock on the tavern door for some help. Give it 3 knocks and this little rat pops out. It ends up scuttling into Olivia's tent, distracting her. We snatch the watch from the grieving woman and fuck off, sailing back north to Shipwreck Bay, which begins the best part of the adventure. Near the wreck of the Black Witch, the burning blade has begun construction. You can cannon up to it, do some sneaky parkour, or just yeet yourself onto it via the big rock, which is what I opted for. Seeing the figurehead actually attached to the ship is awesome, and when you go to pull the gem out, you get this jump scare of Flameheart. It's really interesting how Flameheart has so much influence over objects. This little tidbit probably deserves a whole video on its own. Don't forget to check the cabin of the Black Witch to find yet another rat watching you. You can read a journal here penned by Hammer and Anvil about why they are constructing the burning blade here and how they stole the figurehead from the Warsmith's hideout. All you need to know is they've done it to gloat and repurpose parts of the Black Witch. And if you go over and check, the figurehead is still there. That's hilarious. It just shows a lack of care. There are 2 cannon bases on the wreck too, and as far as we know, only 1 cannon was dredged up, and if these were also dredged up, they would be complete with the actual cannons. Oh well, off to Sanctuary Outpost to see Olive. Just talk to her and she'll reluctantly combine the gem and the pocket watch to make a compass. You can find another rat here. I actually saw it from the beach, so just interact with it and it will scurry under the Gold Hoarder's tent. Now we have the compass, it's time to follow it to Port Merrick. It will take you into the tavern to see this rat. If you interact with it, the rat will move down to the cellar and then to this drain pipe. Interacting with it once more opens this door. We get this hideout filled with loads of mementos from the previous adventures, sort of hammering home this is the last in the chapter. And of course, Ramsey has beaten us to it. In the centre of the room, the Sword of Souls is stored, but this time, it's red. When Pendragon tried to banish Flameheart, part of Flameheart tainted the blade. Don't ask me why, as Flameheart was resurrected, but this is the reason it's now red. The imposter, sorry, Ramsey reveals he's tricked us because he was looking for the Sword of Souls. Ramsey, the real Ramsey, shows up as the imposter skulks away with the blade. The Pirate Lord scolds us for believing the imposter, despite us not having a choice in the matter, and it was obvious anyway. He then lets us know the sword has travelled beyond the Sea of Thieves because the needle is no longer pointing to it. And that's it. It's a pretty bog standard adventure. There's 5 minutes of gameplay compounded by a lot of sailing. But there are new mechanics, puzzles and some world changes too. So what's good about the adventure? It's nice to have something to do after the worst drought of content we've ever had. The world has been so boring without the world changes. Yes, New Golden Sands became Port Merrick, but that was months ago. I would be harsher on this adventure if we had no Tall Tales coming out in 4 weeks, or if we hadn't already learned that adventures will be improving after the update. It seems like Rare planned to have this come out as a prequel to Legend of Monkey Island, but that got pushed back. It really feels as though the Legend of Monkey Island was due out back in March, but either that or the mystery got delayed, I can't really tell. I cannot see Rare just leaving the season dead with no replacement, so something must have happened. But overall, it's nice to have the story continuing. Was it worth a 5-month wait? No. Was it a good adventure? Yeah. It's clearly the prequel to the Tall Tales, and I'll tell you why. I was going to make a full video about this theory, but fuck it. The imposter is LeChuck. Why? Well, LeChuck can shapeshift, and so can the imposter. And LeChuck is the main antagonist of Legend of Monkey Island. Here's the exact scene where he transforms into someone else in the first game. There, I just saved you 6 minutes. Although we can see the Flameheart connection now. A part of him, or his influence, is in the Sword of Souls. And if LeChuck has it, it'll be interesting to see how Flameheart will react to that. I can see him not being too happy once he finds out. Anyway, a new adventure is welcome in my book. I enjoyed my time with this one, and I'm more excited now with a bit more to speculate on regarding the Tall Tales coming in July. So how did you like this adventure? Please let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. I have a full story recap coming out before the Tall Tales next month, and you don't want to miss that bumper episode. Thanks again for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.